So, I have recently returned from my vacation. My wife and I took a road trip. We just did a lot of aimless driving, but we did have a few key places we wanted to stop at, if possible, on our trip. One of those being the location of the cabin in the original Evil Dead movie. I've wanted to visit this location for a long time. Been really curious about it, about what's left of it. I realized the movie was 40 years old, or is 40 years old, and that there was likely not a lot of stuff left to see there. To get there, you have to crawl through a barbed wire fence, and then there's somewhat of a defined trail leading through the woods. It's not super clear, but it is there. And you follow that through a section of woods, and then there's kind of an open area, and then another wooded section. And you follow that trail, there's trees knocked over, there's log hopping involved. It's a little bit of a hike nearby. And as I'm walking, all of a sudden I hear boom! A gunshot. An obvious gunshot. So as it turns out, the gunshots were simply people on the neighboring property, and they were practicing shooting. Really didn't have anything to do with us, although that didn't make it any less scary. And finally, after all the driving through Tennessee, through the mountains and the hills and the hiking, we made it. We are there at the location of the cabin. So we are walking in the same direction that the Delta 88 is driving at the beginning of the movie when they arrive at the cabin. The first thing I remember seeing is a big giant tree with a sad face on it. It was about a half dead tree, but it was pretty big and sad looking, really. Then you see remnants of a tin roof laying around, and then a little further you'll look to the right and you'll see the fireplace, or what's left of the fireplace. So we walk over, we're looking at the fireplace, checking it all out, and then you look across from the fireplace to what we assume is the cellar. Yes, the famous cellar, which is nothing more than just a big hole in the ground at this point, and not a very big one at that. So I don't know if the interiors of the cellar were filmed somewhere else, maybe. I'm not really sure about that. But this was just a big hole in the ground. Still very neat. We took some photos there in the cellar hole because we're geeks. But it was still great. It is great. I'm glad we went. It is a great location for a fan to check out. I would recommend it. Just, be careful out there. There's lots of bugs. You can hear bugs for miles. I mean, just miles and miles of insects. It's so loud, actually. It was a great adventure. So I recommend any fan go check it out when you get a chance.